Today, the ashrams of India are the new resorts seeking Western disciples. 4 years ago, Pune, inland from Bombay, became hometown of a 6-acre anything goes ashram, where every month 900 new oranges pass out with new names, new beads and saffron robes. Disciples of Bhagwan Shree Rajneesh, known to some as the Swami of Sex. This ashram has a permanent staff of 200 or 300 who've renounced their former lives, with 2,000 or 3,000 followers passing through the 10-day meditation camps to work and encounter in suitably primitive and vegetarian conditions. The profoundly religious Indians are getting used to seeing white youngsters aping their ancient reverence. Some find it a ludicrous parody, others a sustaining adoption of their culture at a time when so many Indians look westward. Disciples attending their master's darshan or blessing are vetted by girl guards who sniff. A somewhat bizarre performance, as the rare uninvolved visitor discovered.
You need to wear a scarf.
You need to wear a scarf. We'll find
There's a little smell. If you just wait there, we'll get someone to lend you a scarf.
The Bhagwan, or God, has asthma, or maybe he's just sensitive about the ashram's lack of toilet facilities. So his staff hand out homemade soap and shampoo to anyone expected to get near him. But with outsiders, it seems, the old soap and aftershave still come through. Only the particular ashram aroma is acceptable for this hushed and reverential gathering at the hour of the twilight blessing.
Can you bend your head down again? Okay.
But can you tell me, what are you looking for?
Smell, strong perfumes, cigarettes, things
But I don't have a strong perfume, and I don't smoke, and I have the advantage of running water, which none of the people here have. And I just had a bath. The only thing I've got on is this horrid shampoo that you gave me.
Yeah, but you see, in the West we use shampoos that have a very strong perfume.
No, but I've been using your shampoo,
yes,
which is that awful palm oil stuff. Is that what you didn't like?
Most Westerners find it takes about a week to get rid of smells.
To get rid of the
things
original.
you've been using in the West are very strongly perfumed.
We live in hotels and we have running water and we bathe every day, which unfortunately most of your people can't do.
The hotel soap smells.
I see.
All those products, all the commercial products have strong smells. So you need to use our things for about a week even to get.
But what about running water? Does that help?
Oh, of course it helps, yeah. But you need to get rid of all the perfumes. But it's fine now.
It's all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Supplicants show a compulsive need to surrender to the benediction of their master. Most have drifted here because of loneliness or dissatisfaction with their lives, searching for some direction or instant enlightenment, and here they submit to a comforting code of communal conduct, a sort of religious routine assimilated by the group, so what was a policy of desperation becomes normal. The nightly appearance of their Bhagwan is always dramatic. He claims to be a god and to have 60,000 followers, almost all of them from Western Europe and America. Indians themselves have little time for their countrymen. Son of a merchant from central India who became enlightened as a student of 21, he's bald, bearded, and rather beautiful. In action, he's enormously impressive. His depersonalized gaze directed upon each disciple is unflinching but unattached. It's an exchange of disinterested love. Each darshan is endlessly photographed, his every phrase recorded and printed. It works out that the Bhagwan utters a new book every 3 weeks.
To be with me is to be in the now. No past, no future. This moment is all there is. And just this moment is God. Everything else is just a mind dreaming, desiring, imagining. Once the past and future are dropped, and they are always dropped together, if you drop one, the other disappears on its own account. They are two aspects of the same game. And the moment, this moment is the only reality and the door to reality. So let this moment become your whole life. Live moment to moment, with no ideology, with no desire for any kind of future, with no goal. And then one need not go to God. God comes to you.
Though he's surely led a blameless life and is cosseted by adoring acolytes, the Bhagwan looks somewhat older than his 46 years, but his effect upon his disciples is considerable. They affect to despise the outside world as futile and commonplace compared to the richness, the total self-absorption they've discovered here. Hypnotism, mesmerism. Certainly stage-managed and well-recorded, but most effective.
There's Savita over there. She's an accountant. Niket was a veterinary surgeon. He's now working in the kitchen.
At a tea party with some of the English staff, I tried to discover the ashram's appeal.
Would you like an almost scone?
I'd rather have an almost cup of tea.
Right.
What do you feel? Can I ask you, well, those gentlemen with the glasses, what do you think you're getting from being here?
I'm getting a relaxed life.
You'll get your job changed next year.
It helps you to drop your mind. Your mind just makes you miserable. At least my mind does. I spent years and years and years trying to explain things to myself, and trying to reason things out and make myself happy, and it just didn't work at all. And now I've stopped trying. So I just scrub away some bathroom tiles, and
Mindlessly.
mindlessly.
And that's happiness, is it?
Well, it doesn't. It sounds funny, but it does feel much better.
It works.
Yeah, but it only works. I mean, it only works because of Bhagwan's here, and he is a sort of.
I mean, if you'd been scrubbing back in England, it wouldn't work?
Not for me. I mean, I was very careful to avoid scrubbing in England.
I used to live in London running the Ideal Home exhibition, and this is a better place to be.
I was at college, and I was a psychologist, as you said.
Really?
And I ended up in the encounter movement, and I did about 2 years in that sort of field.
Yes.
And then I ended up here.
Are you one of the psychologists who's working in the kitchen?
I'm one of the psychologists working in the carpentry shop.
What about you with the moustache? What do you do?
I guard. I work as a guard at Bhagwan's house.
And what were you doing before you came here?
I was working in Liverpool. I was doing carpentry, the sort of carpentry business with some other people, making furniture.
Did you think one day, if life is very good to me, I may finish up as a guard on a house in Pune?
Never crossed my mind. Single mistake.
Who decides what they're going to do, whether they're going to be carpenters or encounterers?
Bhagwan decides for us. Yeah.
This is like going in the army, really, is it? It's just the luck of the draw, whether you get a...
That's often how it feels to begin with. You may think that you are very good in an artistic, creative sort of job, and then you'll suddenly find yourself thrown into something very mundane, like office work or cleaning or kitchen work.
People coming from the West are so different, yeah, that they just can't take it. And I mean, I was talking to an Indian guy, and he does say that the ashram is full of sex. You know, but I mean, that's an outsider's view.
It's
but
the uninhibited British who come in here.
And a lot of people come here after they've tried something like cocaine and realized that it's a circular trip, that it doesn't fulfill the being. Because I remember that you were standing in Golden Gate Park about 10 years ago with the hippies.
Haight-Ashbury.
Yeah, Haight-Ashbury, right.
apart from drugs and sex, what do you get out of this?
Well, if you don't go mad, you get enlightened. Yeah, you just become aware, you know, of everything you're doing. It becomes an awareness thing, yeah? So if you're working, you become aware. If you're playing, you become aware. And because in the West, it's not awareness, it's just like a machine. You know, you go to work, you go to play, it's just a machine. Yeah?
What are you thinking about now, incidentally?
Sex.
Everybody in the audience, what are you thinking about now? What are you thinking about?
You're starting to convince me that what they say about this place is true. See, apart from somebody was saying the climate here, what do you draw out of Pune that you wouldn't get at an ashram in Harrow?
Bhagwan's energy.
Could he not be there too? I mean, if he were there anyway, it would be all right.
Yes.
But rather here, I wouldn't want him in London.
You'll have to explain that to me. Why not?
Well, you know, I mean, London's just best for me, you know. There's nothing in the West anymore.
It's curious that he turns on the Westerners so much and doesn't turn on the Indians, really. That the Indians find him unexceptional. Is it because they're more used to gurus than we are, and that you've seized upon somebody new and stimulating?
I think that the Indians have gone to sleep in the main. The Indians have gone to sleep. They don't even recognize an awake man.
I'd say for many years I've been looking for someone, something that Bhagwan is meaningful for me. If Bhagwan wasn't here, I think I'd be in the Scottish mountains. But for me, it's the person has called me. I met him first about 3 years ago, and for me there was a great recognition of a master. We haven't these categories at all in the West.
There's an old Zen saying which says, sitting quietly, doing nothing, the spring comes and the grass grows by itself. Now, Bhagwan is a man, the only man I've ever met in my life, who is doing just that. And everybody else is doing something. I'm doing something right now. You're doing something right now. But doing nothing doesn't mean sitting quietly doing nothing. It means that whatever you're doing, you're absolutely at rest. You're completely relaxed. You simply are. You're just there. And the experience of seeing somebody who's just there is so electrifying because we all have this space inside us, but we can't find it. It means simply just being here like the trees, but being a human being too. And you just are.
Where's the love coming from?
Love is your own state of being.
Within you. You're able to...
True. I wouldn't say that it's mine, but this is where it comes from. And this is where we feel it, you know. I'm here because this is where it is, you know. It's not in the House of Commons where I was working as a political journalist, you know.
What else have you tried before you came here? Have you tried other gurus?
Well, yeah, I was with Jesus, yeah. Yeah, he worked. He sent me to Bhagwan.
What are all these young people seeking when they come here?
Themselves, like what they really are. Does that make sense?
No, it makes about as much sense as most of the things I hear here.
Oh, okay. Well, what seems to happen to people when they come here is that in the West, the kind of way people live, people are multi-faced, multifaceted, you know? You have one face that comes up in anger, one that comes up in greed, one that comes up in lust, one that comes up in jealousy. And so you're never really one solid person. And it's hard to live that way. It's not satisfying at all to live that way. So people come here through the association with Bhagwan, through living with us here, through meditation techniques, group therapies and stuff. All those sort of false personalities start to go away until you're left with one, until you're just the same all the time, wherever you are. So that it frees you. You're no longer, your identity no longer depends on what's being fed into you by the outside world or by the person you're talking to. Bhagwan once said that religion was the last luxury. And for us in the West, we've had the fridges, we've had the cars, we've had the television sets, and we've seen that they don't have anything to do with making you happy. But the Indians, at least the middle-class Indians in this country, still haven't come to that yet. They still want them, and they don't know yet that they don't make you happy.
How do you hardcore permanent staff react to the suggestion that the ashram is just a bunch of affluent Western kids looking for a packaged Madison Avenue style guru or master?
Obviously, that's an outside opinion. When you come here, it's hard to see what's going on. It kind of, I suppose it can kind of look like a holiday camp or something like that, or a summer resort. But there's a lot of work going on inside, but it doesn't show on the outside. People think we've dropped out and stuff like that, and it's not that at all. It's just, with most of the people here, it's just a very aware, conscious decision that what they saw ahead of them in the West was leading them nowhere.
A lot of the people I was speaking to yesterday were very spaced out, I thought.
The spaced out? That's not drugs. The people who live and work in here, it's meditation. I mean, you get very stoned when you meditate.
I can understand that the Bhagwan likes people to freshen up before his audiences. But what is the reason for this sniffing routine?
Oh, his allergies.
For the best will in the world, it's hard to take seriously being sniffed at by a couple of girls, one of them with distinct bad breath.
Yeah, oh, the Italian lady. But we don't take anything much seriously here.
What are the cough suites for?
Well, coughing disturbs the microphones, the tapes, because all the lectures are taped. And it's also, it really makes you stay aware.
See, after that ridiculous charade about the aftershave lotion, the headscarf, and the sweeties, it becomes even harder to accept his statement that he's God.
It's his statement that he's God. Well, that's a loaded thing to put on television in the West. But then again, so are you, and so am I, and so is he, and so is this bench. And the only basic difference between you, me, and the bench and him is that he knows it and just lives it.
He knows he's God, and we're God too. Is that what you're saying?
That's what they all say. That's what all the Buddhas down the ages have said.
See, as I recall, Jesus was rather more concerned with sinners than with coughers.
Maybe people didn't smoke cigarettes and beaties in those days.
See, he's known, I read, as India's sex guru. How is his title earned?
Because we used to meditate with our clothes off. And if you take your clothes off in India, it's a sexual act. I mean, Indians don't even take their clothes off when they bathe. Have you ever seen Indians bathe?
Yes, indeed.
They don't take their clothes off. So when you take your clothes off, it's sexual.
Your publications are excellent and beautifully done, but you package him rather like a beauty product.
Well, it is for the West. I mean, why not package religion that way? Everything else is packaged that way.
So I do detect here an air of suppressed hysteria.
Of suppressed hysteria? Oh no, it's called love.
Close your eyes and watch your breath.